Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're featuring Rado. Now I have reviewed a previous Rado Captain Cook, but this is the Captain Cook ceramic skeletonized, and this is rather special. It is a really kind of funky watch with a lot of kind of almost bling on the front, but with this rather cool ceramic material, which I'll talk a bit more about the ceramic in a bit. But first things first, I've got to say a big thank you to Ryan and the others over there, like Mark and Sharon and all these. They are so helpful. You can go in there, and if you've got a price point you're looking at a watch, you'll have such a selection to look at. It really does help when you've got other watches to look at. So they've got plenty of stock. So anyway, let's look at this watch. First things first, sizes. We have 43mm. And the thickness, I believe, is 14.7. I think I measured it at. The lug to lug, so this longest point of the watch to across the watch is 49mm, and the bracelet size on this, a little bit more unusual, it's 21mm. Now let's zoom in. I would say let's zoom in on the dial, but it hasn't really got one, has it? So there we go. It does look rather nice. Now obviously you can, because of this transparent dial, you get to see through to that rather cool decorated movement. I'm not going to go too far into the movement yet, that's for later, but it is really quite, it does look the part. Now as you can see, this one is dominated by the rose gold effect, and the hour markers here have got the rose gold around them, as to the hands are rose gold. Even the anchor at the top there is rose gold. Now there's plenty of lume on this watch. It's got a really decent amount of lume on this. I'll drop a shine now, and I think it really does shine nicely. Now obviously up here you've got the small anchor, which does rotate, he says. There you go, you can see it rotating there. And these hands are incredibly polished, and it does give this watch somewhat quite a bit of bling factor, I think, and it does kind of look the part. I even like the very subtle Captain Cook 300 meters water resistance in Swiss made air. I think it's so subtle, but it's kind of nice. Some skeletonized models, sometimes it can detract from actually reading what the actual time is, but this one, it's almost, it doesn't sort of like detract from it at all. You can still read the time perfectly easy enough, partly because I think the hands are quite large and there's so much polishing, and this smoke effect does look good. But it is always nice to be able to see the actual balance wheel at the back there spinning. Now we do have the minute track running around on the chapter ring there, and we have this amazing box, well, kind of domed sapphire crystal. I love that. I love the distortion you get, the magnification, and then eventually into distortion. It looks really, really good. Now here we have the ceramic bezel, which does look really nice. I love the fact that you get a nice bit of almost like, it almost becomes like a mirror effect in certain angles. I think that really does look quite nice. The bezel itself, the purchase on there is really nice. You've got a lot of grip on that edge there. And let's do a quick check on the bezel action. Pretty well, no back play at all. The bezel action, I'd have to say, is absolutely superb. Oh, got one too far. You know what it's like, can't do that. Bezel action is really, really good. Can't fault it at all. Now, as we come around here, obviously we have this case. This is where, you know, basically this is what makes this watch really special, is this material, ceramic. Now, some people might say if it's black, well, eventually it'll rub off, or I'll catch it and then mark it. But the difference is with ceramic, it's black all the way through. So even, well, to be fair, the likelihood of scratching this is pretty non-existent, because ceramic is incredibly hard. But if by some bizarre chance you were to scratch this, it'd still be black. So you wouldn't notice it nowhere near as much, but the likelihood is you will not scratch this. They are incredibly scratch resistant. And I like the fact that they've actually polished the center links here just to give it a little bit more kind of depth, rather than being too matte finish all the way around the side. Now the crown on the side obviously is marked up with their anchor. And one thing I do like is silly little things, but when you actually pull the crown out, you can see you've got this big solid chunky effect here. Now some crowns, when you pull them out, they're incredibly flimsy. It feels like if you give it a slight knock, you'll break the crown stem. And this watch, it just feels solid. Seeing that big tube through it really makes it feel a bit more solid. So anyway, as we come round the back, unfortunately I've got a sticker on there. I don't want to take that off because it's not actually mine. You do have what they call the caliber 734, I believe it is. Now, it does have 80 hours of power reserve, and the way it obtains this is by slowing down the beat rate. So where you get some watches which are 8 beats per second or 6 beats, this one is the lower one. So this is like a 6 beat watch. But to be fair, you don't actually notice. It does seem quite smooth still. But you do get a whole whopping 80 hours of power reserve there. Now, I put this on the time grapher and it was doing all right. I think it was coming in around about plus 5 seconds, give or take. So still within chronometer specs. Now, as we come round here, you can see the bracelet and the clasp. The clasp is always a little bit strange, I think, on the Rado Captain Cook models. So you've got what looks like a standard butterfly clasp there, but you can also pull this section out here. So you do have a really, like it can open up incredibly wide. I can never quite understand this section here. I think, does it open or not? It's one of these, but I'd love to say, if you know, please let me know in the comments below. But I can never quite understand what this section actually there is. I do like the way they've signed it on there. And I say, being that it is ceramic, that shouldn't really scratch at all. But overall, I think it is quite a nice looking watch. I don't know if I'd go for a rose gold there. I think there is a silver available also. But it really does look quite nice. I'll put it on my wrist to get an idea how it looks. But zoom out here. Quick wrist check. I'm wearing my Venetia Nico Narade watch. Bob, let's have a look. What's Bob over there has got his ball hydrocarbon, engineer hydrocarbon, which is in for review. So I'll say 7¼ inch wrist. Get an idea how it looks. And if you can put this on, obviously I've not sized it. So there you go. So I do think it does look quite cool. Would I get this over the standard model? I think, to be fair, I think I actually prefer the standard model, but this is still an incredibly cool watch. And being that it's ceramic, I think that just makes it all the better. I think this is another watch also which would look good on a nice black leather strap as well. But it would be a shame because you're paying a lot of money to have this ceramic, so you almost want to keep it on the ceramic bracelet. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you think of this watch. Is it something you'd go for or not? Okay, all the best and stay safe out there, guys. Bye.